Hey, what's up? It's Zach, and what I'm going to be doing right now is talking about my biggest takeaways after completing the Julien Blanc's 8-week transformational mastery course. Now, there were many takeaways for me. I'm taking many things away from this experience. So instead of trying to cover them all, I'm going to focus on my top 3 biggest takeaways. And the number 1 biggest takeaway that I have with this course is the exposure and realization of my own limiting beliefs. Now, I know that I was exposed to, and I know that I experienced realization of these limiting beliefs because literally there were things that I achieved, followed through with, and completed many times as missions for part of the course that I literally did not, I couldn't imagine that I was capable of them at the beginning of the course. So that's kind of definitive evidence that there were limiting beliefs rattling around in my head at the beginning of the course. And there was a huge theme, and we all know what limiting beliefs are. It's a belief that's not true about a limit that somebody imagines they have, but it can only be true by virtue of, or insofar as they believe it's true, or they buy into the idea that it is true. So I had this big recurring theme that I experienced about the past. I could see many, many times in my life where I told myself, or I imagined, I'm not capable of doing something, or it's just not accessible to me. And I can look back and see that it just wasn't true. So, humongous takeaway, definitely some sadness and heaviness to realize those things, that I was unnecessarily limiting myself. Yet there is a gift of sorts with the realization that I can potentially use that to prevent me from doing the same thing now and in the future. And it will be important work for me going forward to remember to really challenge what I consider or perceive my limitations to be. Because if it's been this true in the past, it could very well be true now and going forward. So, humongous takeaway about my limiting beliefs. Takeaway number 2 is about my complete 180-degree flip on experience and kind of belief about the idea of accountability. Going into the course, and for many years, I had many, many, many horrible negative associations and experience with the idea of accountability. And a lot of this had to do with the church and religion I was born and raised into, but suffice to say, I had no interest and hated very much the concept of accountability going into this. And during the course, I received both humongous amount of support and humongous amount of accountability from my Live Your Legend mastermind group. Shout out JT, shout out Davina, shout out Kylie. And I experienced actually a really wonderful thing with it. It ended up that this was something that was not designed to be like a vector for shame or making people feel horrible or like just criticizing the shit out of people. And it was really present and used to help me move forward in ways I wanted to move forward and accomplish things I wanted to accomplish. And it really, I think that this was like maybe one of the real big keys for me completing the course and doing the things that were difficult during the course. Because many things that I was heard and was exposed to in parts of the curriculum in this transformational mastery course, I had been exposed to before, or I knew that it would be a good idea to do something like this, or I had heard the idea before, but I'd never been able to bring myself to do these things before. So the main difference of what made it different this time is only thing I can identify is that accountability. And so I actually had a really kind of fucking fantastic experience with accountability in this situation. And so I feel like this is why I would say that my perception of that idea has kind of flipped upside down as a result of that. And so thankfully it helped me to move forward through difficult aspects of the course that I felt a lot of resistance over and many other things like that. So that's a massive takeaway for me that I can hopefully potentially use in my future goals in moving my life forward, is that I have firsthand experience of the positive benefits of a good accountability system. So that's takeaway number 2, huge takeaway. And the third takeaway is another massive one. It's just the internalization, my internalization of the message that's repeated over and over and over and over again, and students of the course are called upon to experience over and over and over again. And that's to fully allow emotions and feelings to rise, to fully experience them, to fully be aware of them, and to avoid, to what degree is possible, resisting or cutting off or avoiding my own emotions and feelings. And I feel the draw to do this still, and will feel the draw to do this, is avoid and get away from and stuff or just do anything to distract from feelings and sensations in my body, emotions, feelings that are uncomfortable, or that I am afraid of, or something like that. And what I experienced over and over and over and over again in this course is that that kind of resistance or that kind of avoidance does not move the needle of progress forward for the life I want to have. And that the opposite, the flip side of that, the experience of allowing and embracing and fully experiencing emotions, let them rise, let them fall, be aware of them, absolutely moves the needle of progress forward in my life towards the life and direction of life I want to go with my life. So I think that I still have work yet to do with that concept, but the experience of getting that message, experiencing that reality in many, many times, I believe I've begun the process of internalizing that more. So, humongous takeaway. And I could go on and on and on. I don't have the words. I cannot find the words to express how thrilled I am, how grateful I am, and how I'm just really glad that I got the chance to do this. I'm repeating myself at this point, but it changed some things that I have been unable to change in my life for a long time. Years and years, some of them. So, just have to send out all my positive vibes and love to Julian Blanc, and another shout out to my main man, JT, for helping me access the course, for offering that. JT, thank you, man. I will not forget it, brother. So, those are my 3 big takeaways, my 3 biggest takeaways. And thanks for watching. I love you. Peace.